This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday, the first day of September. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, President Joe Biden defending his withdrawal from Afghanistan after facing severe criticism from Republicans and his own party. Following Ida, more than 1 million people still without power as withering heat blasts the region, along with other problems like long lines at gas stations. The threat from China. The Asian giant is building up its military, including a growing and powerful nuclear arsenal. And two sisters getting together. And the interesting thing is, they're both more than 100 years old. All those stories and more are ahead in today's edition of CBN NewsWatch. We begin this half hour with President Joe Biden's defense of his withdrawal from Afghanistan after taking heavy criticism from all sides, including Democrats as well as Republicans. The president calling the pullout a success, while others labeled it a debacle and a humiliation for the United States in front of the world. Abigail Robertson is on the story.
President Joe Biden defended his decision to leave Afghanistan before safely evacuating all remaining U.S. citizens and allies. The president claimed he's had to make tough decisions, and it was time to bring the war to a close.
For those remaining Americans, there is no deadline. We remain committed to get them out if they want to come out. Leaving August the 31st is not due to an arbitrary deadline. It was designed to save American lives, and I was not extending a forever exit.
While Biden touted the withdrawal as a success, others argue we never should have left.
We need to be invested in that part of the world.
Commander Kirk Lippold, whose USS Cole ship was attacked by al-Qaeda in 2000, told CBN News' Faith Nation the way we left was a disgrace.
There is no substitute for having those eyes on the ground that really give you that ability to understand what is happening in a society, in a military, and throughout the country.
120,000 people evacuated in 17 days, but as many as 200 U.S. citizens remain in the country, now under Taliban control.
We are dual citizen Americans with deep roots and extended families in Afghanistan who've resided there for many years. For many, it's a painful choice.
The U.S. State Department sees diplomacy as the main hope for getting U.S. citizens and allies left behind out of the country, while many Republicans are criticizing President Biden for not keeping this promise made 2 weeks ago.
If there's American citizens left, we're going to stay till we get them all out.
Also left behind, military weaponry. Members of the Taliban seen here inspecting helicopters and warplanes deemed inoperable by the Pentagon. Former U.S. Senator Jim DeMint tells CBN News we've left Afghanistan as bad off as when we got there 20 years ago.
Us to exit in humiliation is just so hard for me to swallow.
DeMint argues what's happening now is not a surprise to our intelligence communities.
We knew, especially in Afghanistan, that as soon as the Afghan army knew that Americans would not be there to back them up and pay their salary, that they would disintegrate overnight. It wouldn't happen over months. They would immediately know that the only way for them to live was to make peace with the Taliban.
Just hours after the U.S. completed its withdrawal, al-Qaeda congratulated the Taliban on its takeover of Afghanistan, with both groups viewing it as a moment to incite and recruit new supporters to the global jihad movement. Reporting from Washington, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Now to the aftermath of Hurricane Ida. People in Louisiana and Mississippi are still reeling after its devastating impact. More than 1 million customers in the region are without power, suffering in the stifling heat, and many without water. And now the storm is threatening other parts of the country. That is, wildfires are still blazing out west. Charlene Aaron is on the story.
Ida's torrential rainfall totaled more than a foot in some areas and caused the collapse of a highway in Mississippi. Officials are urging people to avoid flooded areas as the storm makes its way northeast. Total destruction across parts of southern Louisiana in the wake of Hurricane Ida. Piles of twisted metal and homes left in ruin. Thousands of National Guard troops, first responders, and the volunteer Cajun Navy rescuing hundreds from floodwaters.
I paddled a boat as far as I could, and I've been walking about 30 minutes.
The death toll from the storm rising. In George County, Mississippi, 2 people were killed when Highway 26 caved in from flooding. And in Alabama, 2 power company workers possibly electrocuted while trying to restore power. Hundreds are sweltering in the aftermath of the storm. More than 1 million homes and businesses, including all of New Orleans, in the dark. Officials hoping to restore power in some areas today. Other places, power could be out for longer than a month.
Please don't come home before they tell you that it's time.
Long lines at gas stations stretching miles as desperate families wait to fill their cars and generators.
Yeah, you can't find it. It's gold. It's gold right now.
CBN's Operation Blessing is on the ground in Houma, Louisiana, to help families in the region. They toured a local high school being used to house people who can no longer stay in their homes because of damage from the hurricane. OB has also donated several disaster relief kits to a local church. The remnants of Ida now taking aim at the Northeast with a major flood threat. Severe thunderstorms are expected throughout the mid-Atlantic region with damaging winds and possible tornadoes. Virginia's governor declaring a state of emergency. Out west, the danger is not from water but from fire. The wildfire emergency in California. Flames described as 100 feet high are now just miles from Lake Tahoe. The Caldor fire is over 300 square miles and now threatening popular tourist spots in the area. Almost 500 homes have been destroyed. This firefighter saying he never expected this area to be threatened by a wildfire.
The erratic winds, the terrain, the dry weather, it's just done stuff I've never would have ever believed would have happened.
Tens of thousands evacuated.
There is only one way out of town, Highway 50, and it's a parking lot out there.
Flames even pushing wildlife from the mountains. This black bear was spotted looking for food in a deserted South Lake Tahoe. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Virginia's Supreme Court has upheld the reinstatement of a public school teacher. The Loudoun County School District had suspended Tanner Cross because he refused to use transgender students' pronouns according to their new gender. He said he would not affirm that a biological boy can be a girl and vice versa because it was against his Christian faith. The school system had suspended him, but a lower court ordered him reinstated, and the state Supreme Court upheld that decision. A Texas law limiting abortions went into effect at midnight after the Supreme Court decided not to act on an emergency petition by abortion advocates to stop the measure. The Heartbeat Act bans abortions after an unborn baby's heartbeat gets detected. This comes as that has the effect of banning most abortions in the state because a fetal heartbeat is detected at about 6 weeks before most women even know they're pregnant. The new measure won't be enforced by law enforcement officials. Instead, private citizens are now authorized to sue abortion providers or anyone involved in bringing about an abortion after a heartbeat is detected. Coming up, it is being called the most aggressive threat America has ever faced, the long arm of China and its growing military power, including a nuclear arsenal, which is going to keep getting bigger in the years ahead. We're going to bring you the story right after this.
Before you marry is a bad idea.
Don't tell me there's no such thing as gun violence.
That just depends on your definition of when life begins.
Watch Dan and Dale tackle trending topics that test your faith on the next Faith Wire. Monday night at 8:30 on the CBN News Channel. The Global Lane takes you around the world, providing facts over fiction.
What might rising trade and geopolitical tensions mean for you on the home front?
With over 45 years of experience, award-winning journalist Gary Lane brings you the truth from a global angle.
What about the issue of immigration?
World news analysis you won't see anywhere else.
And it's all right here on the Global Lane.
Thursday night at 8:30 on the CBN News Channel.
It's been called the most complex, pernicious, aggressive threat our nation has ever faced, the long arm of China. A recent Senate Intelligence Committee report revealed alarming new evidence of China's pervasive penetration into almost every area of American life. And there's an even greater danger. China's nuclear arsenal with at least 350 warheads, and the Pentagon expects that to double over the course of the next decade. George Thomas is on the story.
New satellite images show a major expansion of China's missile program.
Xi Jinping has one goal: to be the geopolitical, military, and economic leader in the world, period.
Researchers with the Federation of American Scientists uncovered 250 suspected nuclear missile silos, represented in this image by dots. They're under construction in a desert in China's western Xinjiang province. That's the same region where human rights groups believe Beijing is holding more than 1 million Muslim Uyghurs in massive concentration camps as part of the communist government's genocide against the ethnic minority group.
The members of this committee because of the role they play, have a very unique insight into this horror show that's playing out before our eyes in the 21st century.
Images taken of a vast site in northern China also reveal multiple silos under construction. They would likely house intercontinental ballistic missiles, with each capable of carrying multiple warheads.
The men and women of U.S. Strategic Command are always ready.
U.S. Strategic Command, overseer of America's nuclear arsenal, responded to these alarming revelations, tweeting, "The public has discovered what we have been saying all along about the growing threat the world faces and the veil of secrecy that surrounds it." China already has 350 nuclear warheads, an arsenal the Pentagon believes will double over the next decade.
This rapid buildup has become more difficult to hide, and it highlights how the PRC appears, again, to be deviating from decades of nuclear strategy based around minimum deterrence.
It's more evidence of China's increasingly assertive military ambitions under President Xi Jinping.
He is deadly earnest about becoming the most powerful military force in the world, as well as the largest and most prominent economy in the world by the mid-40s, 2040s. It's real.
China's growing nuclear stockpile, just one of many threats highlighted by a Senate Select Intelligence Committee hearing Wednesday.
China is focusing on targeting key U.S. technologies for both acquisition and development. These include aerospace, advanced manufacturing, AI, biotech, data analytics, semiconductors, renewables, all in order to ensure PRC's future dominance in these areas.
Committee members heard witnesses tell how China is burrowing into almost every facet of American life, from academia to Hollywood and private enterprises to state and local governments. Experts say Beijing's influence runs deep and wide.
The title of this hearing is The Long Arm of China. The long arm of China is not some futuristic threat. It's already here.
A former high-ranking official with our nation's counterintelligence community calling China America's greatest existential threat.
And it is the most complex, pernicious, aggressive, and strategic threat our nation has ever faced.
It is time to wake up. Today, China is already carrying out the biggest illegal wealth transfer from one nation to another in the history of mankind.
Primarily through American technology and intellectual property.
They have weaponized our openness. They have weaponized our decency. And they have weaponized a corporate lust for profits against us.
George Thomas, CBN News.
Still ahead, he's the Grammy Award-winning musical director behind the hit film on the legendary gospel group The Clark Sisters, and he's a legend himself. Don Lawrence joins us to share a musical project the pandemic halted for more than a year.
I am Region's first ROTC graduate student.
I'm Ephraim Graham, and this is Studio 5. Cruise with me as I discover the good things happening in the world of music, sports, television, and movies.
The fact that Ryan Coogler was going to be directing the film, I knew that something special was going to happen.
We'll chat with artists at the forefront of entertainment and explore the connection between popular culture and faith.
I asked my pastor, I said, well, does that mean I'm supposed to be a preacher? He says, well, no, you already have a pulpit.
Wednesday night at 8:30 on the CBN News Channel.
How'd you like to get a redo on your health, on your body, on your arteries, so you could have the energy you had 20 years ago? The great news is you can. I'm Dr. Mike Roizen, chair of the Wellness Institute at the Cleveland Clinic. I've written 4 New York Times bestsellers. But even better than having to read all that, you can listen to this DVD and watch it. Protect your heart? Yes, you can. Here's how.
Go to CBN.com or call 1-800-700-7000 for your free copy of Protect Your Heart. Let the medical experts show you their new discoveries on how to avoid heart disease and even reverse it. Easy steps to uncover the hidden dangers in your medicine cabinet, reduce stress, and get a complete do-over for your health. Call 1-800-700-7000. That's 1-800-700-7000. Or go to CBN.com to claim your free copy of Protect Your Heart. Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs from health to entertainment you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. To watch the CBN News Channel, download the app or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Donald Lawrence is a Grammy Award-winning songwriter, producer, composer, and choir director with endless albums and hits to his credit. His current project is called Goshen. It's a unique album he produced actually more than a year ago, with plans for a stage music and dance project. But the pandemic put the brakes on those plans, but now a tour is coming soon. And last week, people got a sneak peek at Goshen as part of a Chicago Dance Theater's 25th anniversary season celebration in the city's Millennium Park.
A call was sent to heaven about power being abused. Heaven chose a deliverer, the most unlikely to be used. Go tell those in power to whom much is given, much is required. Tell them they can't really lead unless they're leading through the eyes of those they hired.
In describing you, it said you're the man who wears many musical colors. What does that mean?
Shouldn't determine the amount of the pay raise.
I do so many things. I've worked in multiple genres, so whether it's gospel, whether it's musical theater, whether it's R&B, I started there. Respect my people. So I go from producer to choir master to artist to musical director to songwriter to whatever. That just kind of all things to all people.
What brings us here today is your work, Goshen.
The album Goshen that I did, I created that work with the with the idea that I would take it to stage and create it as dance theater. So we actually did the music first, knowing that I was eventually going to take it to stage and pair it with a dance company to tell the story on stage with dancing and singing and lyric. And that's pretty much, that's what that's about.
Where was this whole idea of this marriage born for you for this particular project?
Most people don't know that my background really in education is musical theater. I've always loved that. Even when I was a younger kid in church, I would always be the one to take the songs we did and try to put some type of drama to it or some type of scene to it. And I always wanted to take my work and just do it like that. So that's why a lot of times if you listen to the music, it's very theatrical, because that's just the passion that I've always had, even just growing up. And this particular project, I had started working on saying, I want to tell the story of the Exodus, but I want to tell it in a unique way. And I had started working on some songs, And this young writer came to me and said, I have this song, would love you to hear, and maybe rewrite it or do whatever you want to do to it. And it was Goshen. And I was like, this is interesting. And he said, I said, but do you really understand like the concept of this? And he's like, what are you hearing? And so I said, allow me to kind of rewrite the lyric. And I decided that instead of titling this album Exodus or whatever, Goshen was the better title because it was so unique. It was something that we don't focus on as much, but it really tells a story as well. And once I explained to him where I saw it, he was like, wow. So he allowed me to rewrite the song, so we would co-collabed on the song. And I let it be the title of the album, Goshen.
What is Goshen?
Goshen is a body of land where, the Hebrews lived right near Egypt. So during the time of their oppression, they lived in this one little body of land that was right near the Red Sea, and it was called Goshen. But this particular body of land was very special. Some people say, I say it like this, I say Goshen is a supernatural zip code that those who live there achieve against all odds, because they achieve stuff against all odds. And I use this whole story to parallel where we are now, or where we are, when I wrote it, and that story, to let everybody know that you could carry Goshen with you, that everywhere you place your feet, success follows you, because there's a Goshen inside you. There's a body of land, there's an imagination, there's a faith inside of you that if you just focus on and realize who you are, Goshen travels with you. So we always kind of use this tagline, may God's Goshen be with you, wherever you go, and not just you, those that you love and those that connected to you, that supernatural protection happens, but also that you achieve the things that you've desired to and dreamed of achieving.
Whom shall I feed?
Donald Lawrence is a North Carolina native, and there's a celebration next month for his 2020 induction into the state's Musical Hall of Fame. For more uplifting stories like this, be sure to catch Studio 5 this evening at 8:30 Eastern. You can find it on the CBN News Channel or the CBN News app. Coming up, it's a tale of two sisters getting together for a recent visit, and what makes it a bit different is that both are older than 100 years old. We've got the story for you when we come back. Stay with us.
Daddy?
Yeah, buddy.
How many nickels are in a dollar?
There are 20 nickels in a dollar.
How do birds fly? Does milk really make my bones stronger?
Yeah.
Daddy, when we die, will we go to heaven?
Do you have the answer to life's biggest question? Call the 700 Club. We'll help you find answers to the important questions life brings your way.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs from health to entertainment you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. To watch the CBN News Channel, download the app or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. David Perlmutter, board-certified neurologist and #1 New York Times bestselling author. Wouldn't it be great to boost your energy, eliminate brain fog, and even reverse brain disease? Well, you can, and I'm going to show you how, along with some of the world's most well-respected brain experts, in this DVD, Protect Your Brain.
Get Protect Your Brain, a free DVD only from the Christian Broadcasting Network, featuring experts on the cutting edge of neuroscience and brain health.
No matter how many times you've failed in the past, you really can do this.
In Protect Your Brain, you'll discover simple strategies to keep your brain young and healthy. Improve your memory. Discover the gut-brain connection. In Protect Your Brain, get your free copy at cbn.com or call 1-800-700-7000.
If you want to improve the quality of your life, get the DVD Protect Your Brain and get it today.
Download the CBN News app, 24/7 news from a Christian perspective at home or on the road. One place for all of your news. Breaking news alerts. Set daily prayer goals and pray for news stories. Read the most important news and watch CBN News Channel live. CBN News, because truth matters. Go to cbnnewsapp.com to get the app today.
Welcome back. We've got a story of two sisters. Thelma Susswin is 101 years old, and her sister Doris Rounds is 104. But that did not stop them from getting together recently for a sisterly visit. Wendy Griffith has the story.
101-year-old Thelma Susswin, with the help of her son Bill, flew from Norfolk, Virginia to Providence, Rhode Island to visit her beloved sister, who she hadn't seen in 3 years. Thelma, who served as a nurse in the China-Burma-India Theater during World War II, was born on Flag Day, 1920. Doris was born in 1917 on the 4th of July and worked in the travel industry. The two sisters, who had no other siblings, grew up on a farm in Seekonk, Massachusetts, and have always been close.
Thelma, what's the best part of being together as sisters?
It's wonderful to reminisce about all the old things, the parties we used to have.
The trouble is she can't stop me from talking.
Her memory is fabulous.
So what is the secret to these spry centenarians' longevity?
Living on a farm.
Living on a farm?
Yep. Eating fresh vegetables.
And we had plenty of exercise because we had bicycles that we could ride all day long and not worry about cars because there were so few of them.
And one of their favorite things to do when they get together is to eat lobster, which they've enjoyed since childhood. Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
And by the way, Thelma Susswin is CBN reporter Wendy Griffith's mother-in-law, and she was there to see the two sisters reunited. Time now for your Wednesday word, and today's word is limit. Remember this: there is no limit to what God can do. What He's done for others can be done for you. Take the limits off your expectations and put feet to your faith. In other words, work and watch God work, adding super to your natural. With that word, make this a wonderful Wednesday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN News Watch. You can always find more of our news programs on the CBN News Channel. You can find them there at any time, as well as at cbnnews.com. We would love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today or any day. Email us at the address right there at the bottom of your screen, newswatch@cbn.com. And, of course, you can always reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We would love to hear from you. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Make this a wonderful Wednesday. We look forward to seeing you right back here, same time tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody, and God bless.